Say on the outside,
concept, like the knee, only you go around the thumb.
kinda.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, real similar. And or if there's a wound somewhere in this area, right?
That is a weird looking wound.
Usually, with this type of situation, I still start from the wrist. All right. So I'll probably start right about here. Okay. And again, starter band. Right. You start off with your starter band. Oh shh. Didn't see it.
Almost.
But go ahead and pull it tight. Okay. You can take it, pass it underneath. All right. Kind of work your way down. And then now, once you reach that joint, you can go ahead and pass it underneath. All right. And it's gonna be a figure eight again. You're securing the joint, and you're also going over the hand to provide pressure. Now, if you got fancy with it, you could actually go like this. Yeah. If you wanted to get fancy, then you could go like that. See? Now you just put a quick release on the hand.
Can you even do that with the joint ones also?
Technically you can, but I mean,
it's more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah. And then right now, if he had his wound on top of the hand, where's my thumb pressing on?
On the bottom.
On that wound, you know, so it sucks.
Mr. Juice, by making it a flap over like that, does it give it like extra spring to like when you let go of it? That's what makes it round off.
No, what makes it come off real quick is the fact that you're not going all the way around. Or what am I doing?
Oh, so you're doing like a half.
Yeah. You're doing like a half loop.
So then how will it come off on this part then? Real fast?
It won't.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it stops. It just unwraps to that point.
Of where the one's at?
Well, what about the other? Don't you go back to the other part?
Yeah, you can. Watch. So I came across this side. I got two on top of each other right here. Now I can bring it on over this way. Right, and then this is to put pressure on the bottom of his hand.
Yep.
See? And then.
Huh.
I can't see your
hand. You can feel the support.
Put palms up, so I could actually hold it right here and go back over it. Right? See? So now I just took care of, I put pressure on the wound that's right here, and I put pressure on the wound that's right here, and it'll also be quicker to release. You guys can get creative with it. Bandaging it, like I said, it's an art. You know, it's like it's not really like, oh, you gotta do like this. You know?
Do his head.
There's several ways to do
Mr.
it.
Juice, when you're bandaging, do you want to try to pull the bandaging as tight on as possible? Or?
No, not as tight on as possible, just enough to give it a little bit of tension. Alright?
So I guess you'll just learn that over time, huh? Practice.
Yeah, you'll just kind of learn over time. And usually what I do is while you're bandaging, you want to think about patient education. So you're always going to be educating the patient on how to do it themselves when they're at home.
Okay.
Alright? What else do I want? See my hand cover.
That'll take a little while to memorize, you know?
I used to write my hands when I was
Do you guys know what anatomical splints are?
No.
Anatomical splints? An anatomical splint is where you're using another part of the body to hold that portion of the body still.
What?
Alright?
Like against the body?
Their own part of their own body?
Yeah. So an anatomical splint, like how many of you guys have ever seen somebody with two fingers taped together?
Oh, yeah.
That's technically an anatomical splint. Right?
Like if you jam your finger in basketball all day.
Another one is also for broken ribs, right? If somebody's suspected to have, say I was suspected to have broken ribs on this side, they would actually provide my arm here as an anatomical splint, and they would wrap around like this. And then you could ship people out like that. Alright? Another anatomical splint could be if you have a tibial-fibular fracture right here on one leg, you could just tie it to the other leg. You know, it's more of like a hasty type of splint, but it works. Alright?
Give him some crutches.
The other, what's that?
Just to support the bone, that's all?
Yeah, just to support the bone temporarily. The other thing, the other thing that I want to advise you guys on is also be creative. Like I said, when you're dealing with like emergencies, it's an art. It really is. For example, you guys know what a C collar is? It's what holds your neck. It's what holds your neck after a car accident.
Oh yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about?
You're not talking about the ones with the big old screws?
Cervical collar.
The ones that be like this, they be like, oh, I just broke my neck.
You're talking about
Right?
the wipes?
Yeah, the big old collar that you put on for an accident.
Yeah.
There was a time when I only had one of those in my medical bag, so I gave it to one patient. But there's more than one person in each truck, right? So what I do, I took their boots off, and I actually used their boots to hold their thing still.
wow.
So you just put a boot here and a boot here, and you
It
can
would suck
tape
if they-
you can
if
tape
they had
over it, and
stinky
it still
boots.
keeps the airway open.
Yeah.
All right.
That's crafty.
What else?
What did they say when they saw it?
Huh? It's a common thing. They teach you that one in school. You know. What else? You could also get like your belt, your riggers belts, like in the military. You know the camis that you see guys wear. Underneath, Marine Corps wears what's called like a riggers belt. Right, it's a really thick, like wide nylon belt. It's really really strong. You can use that to wrap things. Right. That riggers belt is strong enough to where if you took a helicopter
Is it
as
like a gate
hoist
belt?
and like hook it up, right,
hold.
it'll actually hold you and it'll carry you up with it.
Is it a gate? It's like a gate belt.
No, because a gate belt's usually made of cotton.
Oh, okay.
But this one's like nylon,
Because
and it's like I know what you're talking about
It's
with the gate
thick,
belts.
though. It's pretty thick.
What else? Making tourniquets. I want to show you guys how to make tourniquets, but we don't really have string, which is critical.
What would you use the string part for?
Stringer belt.
To tie the.
Yeah, a string to, for example, like to
Tighten it up when you're.
like for a tourniquet, you could get like something
Like a
solid. So let me see, like your arm.
Yeah.
Right. You could essentially tie something like. You could essentially go like this, go through with it, and then start twisting.
Okay.
Right? Until it starts to cut off her circulation. And once it starts like say her hand was chopped off. Once it starts to cut off circulation, you twist it even tighter until it stops bleeding, and then you take a piece of tape and hold this in place. You guys see that? So it really depends on how creative you guys can get. Some of you guys
I've
are
seen
wearing
something like
hoodies.
that.
You guys could pull the drawstring out of a hoodie, drawstring out of some sweats, somebody's lanyard. There's somebody's
Whatever you
lanyard.
got on you or around you to help.
Yeah, and anything solid. And actually, because the reason why is because this pen actually normally would not be strong enough to hold the pressure. You'd have to get like this car key wood, or like some tongs
I
wood.
wouldn't even think of a car key.
Yeah. Just kind of something to be able to wrench,
Twist
really
it.
wrench down and really twist, because it's going to be a lot of pressure to really stop blood flow like that.
Or
Majority of the time, it's
something
an
metal.
arterial bleed anyway.
Yeah, if it's a bleed worth stopping, generally speaking, it's going to be an arterial bleed. All right, and I'll show you guys videos on what an arterial bleed looks like. It's pretty gnarly. Like just every time the heart beats, you see like a spurt of blood. Yeah, it's a steady stream of blood. All right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Any questions on that?
Just when you're doing a tourniquet on a place like where there's an artery at, you're gonna go closer to where the chopped off is at than
No.
up. No, you're gonna go up.
Higher,
up.
yeah. Well, my rule of thumb is higher. What they're going to teach you in like most emergency courses or courses in the United States is you want to go like 3 to 4 fingers above the wound. 3 to 4 fingers above the wound, or 3 to 4 fingers above the joint on a single bone. All right. But the reason why I put it as high as I can on a patient, right, and set it off there, is because in a combat situation, you don't know if somebody's going to become wounded again a little bit higher. So what if I put the tourniquet like right here, and all of a sudden while I'm being transported to the truck, I take another one right here.
Okay.
Now you got to take that off and move it up here.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You're probably better off putting it as high as you can, that way in case anything else happens on the leg, I won't bleed out no matter what. You could start poking all the holes you want.
But isn't it the higher that you go, then that's the higher where if they did have to get it amputated, then that's where it would be at, though, right?
Yes and no. A patient can have a tourniquet on for 8 hours before there's dangers of amputation, like not being able to reattach it or having to remove that limb.
And during that time, normally they would already got.
You'd already be transported, yeah.
Alright.
Especially in America.
Okay.
Unless you guys are out in the woods, way no man's
Right.
land. Any questions?
What can you reattach? Just like fingers or
You can reattach like pretty much
pretty
anything.
much everything?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Does it
Thank
still work?
Jesus.
Yeah, I know, really.
Not as well,
What
but
about the nerve endings and stuff like that?
What's that?
What about the nerve endings and stuff like that?
it won't work as well. So you might not have the same pulse motor sensation. But
You probably won't
But
be
how would
as
it,
strong
how
as
would
you
it,
used to be,
how would
though.
it stop?